Welcome back to Kin in Line. This is 67, but it could be 65. So this is a sketch I did of Dave Tarr on his violin around about 1980, 81, or late 70s. And then in 83, I used that as the basis for this painting, which hangs in our lounge. Yeah, so let's follow Dave back to his so here we have a similar thing where I took a sketch I'd done over there full of life and movement. And then I converted it into a watercolor, which I'm afraid just becomes a bit of an illustration and doesn't have nearly the quality of this drawing, which I wish would come into focus. Yeah, so what a virtuoso musician he was. Sadly passed away in his early 40s, excuse me. He certainly gave me something to draw often at the concerts that he performed in. It was like being part of the creative process if you could sketch somebody who was being creative. So here he's on the mandolin. His nickname was Plod. He certainly didn't plod along when he played. He was dynamic, real star in the Silver Creek Mountain Band. And then he teamed up with Trevor Promnitz, as I've mentioned earlier. Here's Trevor again, hammering away on that guitar. And then this looks like it's the hobnob again, and a very quick sketch of people hanging around the bar. I quite like the guy on the end with a little moustache. He looks sort of French. And this is Dave Tarr again. And that. Some of them are very loose, let's call it. Mere suggestions. One of the patron saints. She too doesn't want to come into focus. It's absurd. Sure. Two of the waiters. See how this quick fire type of drawing can give you these crazy faces. Yet they are faces. I mean, there's life in that face, even though it's totally distorted. I think this is Dave Tarr again. sketch in a few seconds. Another weird one. That violin always up against his cheek. One of his favorite tricks was to climb on a roof and play fiddle on the roof. Yeah, not sure what's potting there. So some weren't as successful as others. Again, just a melange, is that a word? Of lines that sort of combine to create a form. And these would have often been done in sort of fairly dark corners. One of Dave's tricks was to make his the strings on his bow quite loose, and then to tuck the guitar in between them and the bow, and play all the strings at once. I've never seen anyone else do that. I think that's what I might have sketched here, if this damn thing would just focus. Yeah. It's clear that this camera can't cope with unorthodox drawing techniques. It's unreal. Let's see what it makes of this one. Yeah, apologize for this, but maybe the little camera's focusing device is failing it. Oh, there, cheapers. You don't know whether to keep it away or zoom in or what. Let's see if we zoomed in now, we could get the soak. Yeah, gee, now it's happy a few inches above. Oh, well, at least this gives you an idea of how quickly I had to draw that face. And there's the bow going over the violin, the strings loose, sort of. Obviously, sometimes one came loose and flapped around. Yeah. So I wonder if we should just spend a bit of time on the beach. I think these are also at Bonza Bay still. It's probably the only beach with such, in East London, with such beautiful sand dunes. Lovely sort of curved lines all over the show. Again, defying me. Dog looks like it's lifting its leg. little wave about to break or having just broken. I don't know what's on the left there, but it looks quite interesting. Here's a more conventional drawing. Camera should be happy. Or is it? No. Yeah. Yeah, so this confirms it's at East London, as we've got some sort of coaster, I think they call these ships. And I think that's Nahoon Reef there in the distance on the right, although the ship looks closer in than it should be. Maybe it was washing ashore. Yeah, I think it's actually quite a nice composition. These kids in the foreground here. Classic beach scene. Umbrella, a couple of people under it. Yeah, Samsung's letting me down here. Let's go fly a kite. Two people on the beach. I've just spent an hour or two on a beach in Wilderness, this time with a camera, and I just actually found it hard to believe that back in the day I was able to sketch all these people just at play or relaxing on the beach, you know, in that bright sunlight. That was the main thing. I don't know how my eyes actually ever coped. And to get so much detail so quickly. Because, I mean, these people are forever moving unless they're asleep. They're not going to sit there forever. Here again, I think you get the sense of the open space and the air and the light and everything of these people. But there's a dog here that's defying me as well. One of our many dogs. I think this would have been I've got a better drawing of him. I think we've seen him earlier. Yeah, well, I did quite a few of them. I don't like the way this camera sort of blurs everything. There's a bolder drawing that the camera should be happy with. So what are these? What type of dog is this? German Shepherd? I think so. Could have been done in the army, could have been done basically anywhere. Weird looking fellow. Likewise, this probably was done in the army. Well, it looks like a doorman here. Check at that moustache. And Fanta. Do we still get Fanta in this country? Apparently it was a German product. I haven't seen much wildlife thus far, but here is some sort of antelope stuffed and mounted. Could well also have been somewhere in the army. It's the kind of thing that they would do. Yeah, so we'll leave it at that for now. Cheers.